Hello friends, welcome to Shauna Stitches. I'm Shauna, and this is my introduction to my Advent for 2023. I will be doing a version of Vlogmas, but I posted a poll and it seems that the majority of people would like to see a weekly video instead of a daily video. And quite honestly, that makes it easier on me. So I guess thank you to you guys who want a weekly video instead of a daily video. I will be filming a daily video, but it will just be posted once a week. I will edit it all together, kind of like I did my GeoGradient vlogs, if you watch those. So this little video is just to tell you about my Advent knitting plans, and as usual, I have a lot. I'm looking around me, I'm surrounded by yarn and projects, but I will say I have had some self-restraint this year. I know that sounds shocking, but I have done better than in years past. Once you see all this, you might be like, how is that even possible? I don't know, but let me just show you some of these things. Before I do that, I just want to welcome everyone. Thank you so much for being here, and whether you celebrate Christmas or not, I can tell you that this is not going to be a very Christmassy vlog, probably not Christmassy at all, just because it's just my husband and I, and we both work, and the Christmas time is just not really a big thing for us. In fact, did I say I'm filming this on November 26th? We've just had Thanksgiving, which was very low key, and I have not even decorated and may not decorate, and that is what it is. In fact, this area that you're going to be seeing most of the time, maybe all of the time, it's not going to be Christmassy. So if you don't celebrate, don't feel like this is going to be down your throat Christmas, okay? That being said, you can find me down below. There's links to Instagram and Ravelry, and you are probably watching me here on YouTube. So questions, comments, any way to get a hold of me, you can instant message me or DM me on any of those platforms. And if for some reason I'm not getting back to you in a timely manner, leave me a comment here on YouTube and draw my attention to that. But I'm pretty good at staying on top of it. Okay, the first project that I'm going to be working on in December is in my beautiful hot pink Joji Locatelli bag, Joji and Company. And in here, I have all of the leftovers from my, so far, 11 pairs of Desert Vista Dyeworks socks. I'm not going to take all of these yarns out here, but let me just grab a few to kind of demonstrate. So I happen to have 3 yarns that are variegated and not self-striping, because if you don't know, Desert Vista Dyeworks does mostly self-striping sock yarns. So these variegateds, like I said, I have 3. Let me find them here. Where's the other one? Oh, there it is. There we go. These are the 3 colors. So I will be using these for the heels, cuffs, and toes. This one specifically in the color Cherry Blossom, this is variegated. This will be used for the cuffs because this is the only one I have that isn't a traditional sock yarn. It does not have nylon, so cuffs should be just fine. And then one of these will be toes and one will be heels. And then my plan is to knit an entire stripe sequence from each yarn into my sock. And because I have no idea how long of a sock that will end up being, I'm going to do these toe up, which is not my usual method. If you have watched my recent episodes, you will see that I was kind of auditioning some toe up sock patterns, and the one that I have so far settled on is the Sockmatician's toe up socks. I can't remember the exact name of that pattern, but it will be linked down below if I remember to do that. If not, and you can't find it, ask me and I will gladly point you in the right direction. So I haven't decided if I'm going to go specifically in order as like how I knit them this year, but I think I will. So I will cast on the toe with one of these. I haven't decided which one yet, although I'm leaning towards this. I don't know. And then I will go into the November color and work my way up the leg towards January, I think. Maybe I'll do it backwards, maybe I'll do it random. I have no idea. So those will be getting cast on December 1st, or at least right around there. And these will be my number one priority. So not an Advent, but it is a December knitting plan. But let's show you an Advent. This is my third or fourth year getting the Cozy Knitter Advent. I've been good. I haven't opened it yet, but I probably should get this caked up. I'll be honest though, these are not feeling like much of a priority to me in December. Maybe that will change. I'm sure I'll start getting all the FOMO once everyone else starts casting on. But I do have this to make a second pair of socks in December. Let's see. Let's talk about the other project that I plan on focusing on a lot in December. And we have yarn attached to it, so that doesn't help. But this right here is my Cozy Memories blanket. And you know, it's actually starting to look like a blanket. Like I think it could be a baby blanket size. I can't tell. Can you see the bottom? Hopefully you can see the bottom. At one point I had counted how many squares I have in here, but I don't remember. I know it's over 100. So I would just like to have this get some growth this December. I did one year. Do you see how there's like a lot of reds and greens kind of in one section? I can't remember what year it was. Actually, I think it was a year that I did do Vlogmas, and I had a bunch of 5-gram mini skeins that I used to get from a Ravelry group called Sock Yarn Swappers. And contradictory to the name, you didn't actually send anything to swap. You would pay and you would get these 5-gram minis. And it was kind of like the row 1 subscription, except for those are 10 grams. So I still have quite a few of those, but I had at the time picked out the majority of my reds and greens, and so I was knitting those in December. I have been using the 2.75 millimeter needles by, what are these by? I'm forgetting. They just went out of business. I'm sure you're screaming at me. I guess it doesn't matter because they're out of business, but these little needles are expensive. Were expensive, I guess. Gosh, why can't I think? Oh, Signature Needle Arts, that's what these are. So I used to just use my regular Zing double points. Those work fine. The only nice thing about these is, because I've left a square on here, is that they do kind of have a stopper built in, but no big deal to use your own stopper. I guess I should hurry up and finish this square, because let me just tell you, it's been languishing for quite some time. The square I'm currently knitting on there is out of some yarn that I dyed myself. And it was a sock blank, which is why it's all crinkly. These were my wedding socks, at least that's what I called them. And I had written like our wedding date in food coloring. Sorry, I have a knot in here. I'd written our wedding date, and I think we had a hashtag for our wedding, and you know, all those things that you do when you're getting married. I don't know. I have to deal with that knot later. See that right there? That knot. Okay, so that's my plan. I'm going to be doing squares in here, other than my socks. So I think it'll be a pretty low-key December, which is what I'm hoping for. But let me show you my advents that I plan on knitting into that. Sorry, I'm trying to put my knitting needle away. Okay, so I have this, and you can see some colors peeking through there. But gosh, how long ago? Like June, July, I went on an Etsy shop that had scraps. I think maybe they were all Opal, but they might be other brand of scraps as well. And I bought 2 packs, which was a total of 24 little mini skeins of yarn. And I put them in here myself, but let me just tell you, I don't remember what they look like at all. So it will be a surprise to me. And each day I will open one of these. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think these are 10 grams, but I could be wrong. So I will knit a square in my blanket, and then with the leftovers, I am doing some Battenberg squares. That way I should hopefully be able to use up almost all of the yarn. These are just some samples that I had already crocheted. I have some others somewhere too, but I'll be honest, I forgot where I put them. I think they're sitting in a project bag somewhere, not a Ziploc. So these are all out of the same color. I do remember that this is the colorway Arizona Landscape by Vista Dyeworks. And if I recall right, I went through an entire striping sequence, so that's why there are 3. So hopefully I will be able to get a couple squares done. This is not much of a priority project at all, so if nothing else, I will just put the scraps from the advent into here. But actually, before I talk about that, I do have this advent as well. It looks like one of those old school chocolate advents that you used to get with kind of the not very nice chocolate, but it's not edible. I got this from my local yarn shop, which is Candy Skein in Astoria, Oregon. And it is by Firefly Notes. And each one of these has some sort of progress keeper or stitch marker. I've never had a stitch marker advent before, and I always find myself needing them. So I thought this would be a good thing. So what does it say? There are 20 round stitch markers and 5 progress keepers. And I think they're, oh, here we go. The theme is Fairy World and Celestial Night Sky. So not my normal, but I'm excited. The owner of Candy Skein also has one, so we'll be opening them at the same time and probably comparing notes. And the last advent that I purchased for myself just came the other day. And do you see that? It's pink. This is Suburban Stitcher. I've never had any of her yarn, and I definitely have never had her advent. But there are 25 20-gram mini skeins in here, and the minute I knew I needed this was when she announced that it is all going to be pink. And I can't remember if she said at the time, but there's definitely a piece of paper that came with it that said each color will fade into its, the next one. So it's all going to be a pink fade. I have no project plan for this. And quite honestly, I'm sort of waiting to see what I don't know if popular is the right word, but the predominant advent pattern is. Last year, everyone was knitting, of course I'm blanking on the name. There was that circular, it could have been a shawl or a blanket, and it was by Helen Stewart in her knit vent. I did not buy that this year, and looking back at last year, I didn't end up knitting any of the patterns, and the only pattern that I actually liked was that throw wrap blanket thing, the circular one. It's really annoying me that I cannot remember what that's called. If I remember to look it up, I will put that right here so that you can also know what I'm talking about. But yes, I am trying really hard not to buy patterns in advance of wanting to knit them, and definitely not trying to buy those pattern books or packs, because I usually end up just getting a bunch of patterns that I don't actually want and then don't ever end up actually knitting them. And so if I don't end up finding another pattern I like more, I could see making that blanket out of those pinks, because, oh, that would be so beautiful. But I think that does require a large skein too, which is no big deal. I can find another one, I'm sure. So I'm very excited about that. You will see me opening that every day, but it's not going to be going into a project anytime soon. So those were my entire plans for Advent. But the other day I was opening my mailbox and found a package that I was not expecting, and I'm not going to say the name because they didn't say to say the name or anything like that, but I got the sweetest package that came with this little card, and I won't read it to you because let me just tell you, I was really brought to tears. Like, not like sobbing tears. I'm not much of a crier, but I definitely had all of the emotions. So if you're watching, you know who you are, and oh my goodness, you surprised me, and just I can't believe that anyone would think enough of me, or consider me enough to send me a package. This is a big package, and I can only assume that these are yarn minis. I don't actually know, but I will be opening this every day. So someone sent me an advent that they made themselves, and it's just literally the sweetest thing. So in addition to the blanket, the Cozy Memories blanket squares that I'll be doing out of the advent that I bought, if that is fingering weight yarn, I will also be doing a square out of that. Now, can I keep up with all of that throughout December? Probably not, but I will do my best to show you my daily progress, and that's what those weekly vlogs are going to be, showing you my yarns, my stitch markers as I open them in the morning, and then my progress as I knit through the day. I'll just be showing you like when I finish a square. So I don't anticipate those vlogs are going to be very long, but it will be really fun to share that with you and show you the progress in my blanket, because 50 squares is a lot. Like, that's really going to add some size to that blanket. I think those are all of my Advent knitting plans and yarny plans. What are you doing for Advent? Do you buy Advent calendars? Do you make your own? Do you say screw it and work on the projects you already have going? I would love to know what your plans are. If you have any questions, comments, or other things to tell me, please leave a comment down below. If you would like to be notified each time I post a video, you can hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell. And thank you for all the likes and subscriptions. I appreciate you all so much for being here, and I look forward to sharing my Advent knits with you. I will talk to y'all soon. Bye.